now on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN with a look as the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League get underway. Eduardo, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No problem. We get this year kicked off, coming off of maybe one of the best finishes and exciting seasons with the Cubs and the Indians last year. I want to start off and get your take on the direction of baseball right now. There's been a lot with the rule changes and the speed of the game. Where do you think the game is right now after what was a great World Series?
I think it's in the perfect spot. I think the game is strong, and we saw it last year. I think it really helped the Cubs with the history that they had and not being able to win a World Series in so many years to all of a sudden be able to finally do it in a great way in Cleveland. So the game itself is in a great spot. Again, the collective bargaining agreement was agreed upon and signed. This little ordeal, I think we're looking a little bit too much into it. I don't think it's going to be that much of an effect if you put your four fingers up and walk someone on four pitches or you don't. I just would not want the integrity of the game being lost just because we have dinner plans at 10 o'clock.
Good point. You know, it seems that is just a rule to do, just to say we did something, right? Doesn't it have that feel?
It is, and you look at it, and it's worked well. There's a lot of money going into Major League Baseball and a lot of money that it costs with commercials and everything. But, you know, again, if you want to rush the game, I remember back in the day when some of our games weren't televised, we're like, hey, the game's not televised today, guys. It'll be a quick one. And when they were televised, they're like, okay, it's going to be a little bit longer. The players understand it. Maybe the fans, when they're at the stadium, they don't understand it. The people at home with the technology nowadays, they fast forward through a lot of the stuff. Do they see it in live action? I'm hoping they do because that's what we do for a living. But again, it's a game that's played without a clock, and we seem to start putting a clock into the game, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Eduardo Perez with us, ESPN baseball analyst here on the Sports Bash. I want to get your take on the NL East right now. That's where our home market really is with the Phillies and the Marlins and the Mets and obviously Washington, and kind of take a look at that division as a whole and give us an overview of where you think, you know, the teams like the Marlins, the Phillies, who have kind of been at the bottom of that division for the last couple of years, the Mets have been at the top, the Nationals have been at the top. When you take a look at the NL East, what are you seeing there this year?
Well, just before you went through the teams in the NL East, I just want to give a little love to the Braves also. Just
I left the Braves out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with a new stadium. You know, it's an interesting division where, yes, the Nationals and the Mets are going to be getting all the news because of their pitching. If it's Scherzer, if it's Bryce Harper and Turner and Trey Turner, that I think is going to be a star at this level for many years to come, going to be moving now from center field back to his natural position at shortstop. But it's a division that can be had by pretty much any team, and what I mean by that, even the Atlanta Braves, don't count them out. And they have a good stellar up the middle with Dansby Swanson, which came from Vanderbilt and worked his way up to the major leagues in less than 2 years' time. But you also add Phillips to that repertoire. It's going to be a tough division. The Mets, on paper, have the best 1 through 5 pitching staff, and they have a lot of depth with Seth Lugo, which just opened up a game today and was stellar for those 2 innings that he pitched with 3 strikeouts. But again, this is a division that I think could be won in the month of April more than it can be at the end of the season. Teams know that, and I think because this division is so strong, if it's Don Mattingly with the Marlins, or if it may be Dusty Baker with the Nationals, they understand that the month of April is as important as any other month, especially in this division, because you have to be able to get off at a strong with a strong start. You don't want any other team to just gain momentum and continue doing well throughout the season.
Eduardo Perez is with us. Eduardo, I want to ask you about the Phillies here locally. Do you like the direction of the team? They have made a lot of moves the past few years. Are they finally moving in the right direction?
I do. Actually, two of my exciting players, my favorite players to watch, are on that team. Oliver Herrera, to me, is a fantastic player. I love the spunk that he has. Freddie Galvis, I think, is doing the same exact damage that Herrera is doing. He's fun also to watch. You go out there. I remember talking to Lenny Harris, and every time the Marlins would go, he was the third base coach last year for the Marlins. He would tell me, he goes, "Oh, we're going to Philly. We're about to watch some exciting young players that play with a lot of heart and passion." And that's exactly what that team has, is heart and passion. Again, Nola, to me, is a pitcher that has still not even reached his potential. He's shown flashes of it. I think already having that one full season under his belt, if he gets this season, I think he's one of those hidden secrets that could really prevail and do well when it comes to the division. The Phillies themselves, good infield as it is, good speed, and good talent. And last year, the first half of the season, everybody was like, is this team for real or not? Where all of us thought, okay, the second half of the season, they'll fall apart a little bit. I think that experience is really paying for them. Speaking with Larry Boa, he's optimistic also about his team, being the bench coach and knowing all the inside outs of that team.
Eduardo Perez visiting with us. Also, a lot of people tend to take the look at spring training games are meaningless, but what stats or things should Phillies fans or fans in general look for in their team in spring training? Like, what stats matter?
I can tell you a couple stats not to look for. It's the wins and losses. A lot of managers and a lot of coaches are like, yes, they tell their players, listen, we have to win these games. But the reality is this: the starters play maybe 4 or 5 innings at the beginning of spring training. They work their way up to 6 or 7 innings, and then at the end of the game, you don't have the guys that really can shut down a game time situation or what it may be. And the starters don't even know if they won or lost until the next day. So don't look at that. What you have to look at is the quality at bats. It's not the hits. It's the point of contact. One thing that a lot of teams have is a stat cast now in the minor league. They want to know if a team is a hitter with exit velocity, how it comes off the bat. You want to know the sound. You want to know if they're swinging at pitches out of the zone or not. All those little things are the ones that matter to an organization.
Eduardo Perez with the Sports Centers on the Road, powered by Ford, to begin its spring training bus tour, providing on-site updates from around the league and interviews with key players. Where have you visited, Eduardo? It sounds like you've got a nice day down there, wherever you are.
Yeah, I'm actually en route right now to Fort Myers. I've been, so far this spring training, I started off in Port St. Lucie. Actually, I started off in Jupiter with the Marlins, then went to Port St. Lucie. From there, then went to the Atlanta complex in Orlando in the Disney complex, and from there went to Lakeland. They built a beautiful $48 million extension facility there that is stellar. And then from the Lakeland went back down to Jupiter to see the Cardinals, the Marlins again, and then went to see the Astros in a beautiful complex, and then the Nationals, which they share the complex. It's not done yet, but just sooner or later, in a couple days, it'll be done the inside of the Palm Beach spring training site they have.
Nice. Well, you got to get yourself over to Clearwater. That's the best time of them all.
I'm telling you, I'm on my way, though. I'll be in Fort Myers, and I'll be in Tampa, and then at the beginning of March, I'll work my way to the Tampa, Clearwater, Dunedin area. So I'm not going to let you down on that one, brother. I got you.
Well, we'll be down there as well. Eduardo Perez, ESPN Baseball tonight, and, of course, here on the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN, heading down to Fort Myers. Reds are Twins and Reds down that way.
Twins and Red Sox. Twins and Red Sox.
Red Sox, not Reds. We appreciate the time and safe driving.
All right, you got it. A lot of traffic down here in South Florida.
Oh, always is. And